Well, hello there. So today we're going to do something a little bit different than what we normally do because this lovely little red bird over here is going to be coming back to raids in Pokemon Go. Ho-Oh is a really good overall versatile Pokemon, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over all of its raid counters, how many trainers do I think that we relatively need to beat it between level 40 and level 50. We're also going to go over its uses in raids and its uses in PvP as a whole. Not to mention that Ho-Oh's shiny form is absolutely amazing and one of the best shiny Pokemon that you can get. So we're going to start first with raids. Of course, because Ho-Oh is a fire flying type Pokemon, it's only going to have 3 weaknesses. Its only 3 weaknesses are going to be water, electric, and then it's going to be double weak to rock. Rock is going to reign supreme here, and rock will also be boosted by partly cloudy weather. The only other weather that will help boost with Ho-Oh is water and electric. And as you will see in just a little bit, even with water and electric, rock is still going to reign supreme. The only water type Pokemon that can keep up with the rock type counters is Primal Kyogre. If you're not running Primal Kyogre, then more than likely you're going to be running Mega Aerodactyl. Mega Aerodactyl will not only give you the best attacker that you can have, even outclassing any of the shadows, it's also going to give anyone that you are raiding with a boost. Ho-Oh cannot be soloed. It is a relatively easy duo, even with level 40 Pokemon, but there is no way to solo it currently in Pokemon Go. Now we go with CP. The regular CP for the Hondo will be 2207, and then weather boosted, which will only occur in sunny and windy, is 2759. So looking at the top raid counters, first of all, we're going to start with level 40, and none of these will include shadows. This infographic is going to be right over here, and it's going to stay over here. Of course, your top attacker is going to be Mega Aerodactyl, just due to that double weakness, and then followed really shortly by Primal Kyogre, then Tyranitar, and then we have Rampardos, Rhyperior, and then Tyranitar. Those 6 are going to more than likely be your go-to, with Mega Aerodactyl or Primal Kyogre being the 2 that you're going to more than likely default to, followed by Rampardos, Rhyperior, and Tyranitar. Again, none of these are Shadow. And then after that, for the slots 7 through 12, these are going to be the ones that you more than likely do have. However, 4 of those are Megas. The only other thing that's going to be viable, because you don't want to be running any of those other Megas, honestly, is going to be Terrakion and Zekrom. And at the end of the day, as long as you have something that you can run to help output damage, you don't need to worry about having 6 level 40 Rampardos. If you have, let's say, 5 level 40 Rampardos and a Mega Aerodactyl, or 3 level 40 Rampardos with a Mega Aerodactyl lead, and then you have 2 Zekroms in the back or 1 Zekrom in the back, you'll be okay. Even Rhyperior and Tyranitar are really good switch outs here. So next up, right over here on the right, we're going to have the level 50 non-shadow counters. Again, Mega Aerodactyl and Primal Kyogre are going to be the top 2 slots, followed by Tyranitar, because Tyranitar is just honestly a beast when we get the shiny. Followed by shortly with Rampardos, Tyranitar, and Rhyperior. Now, if you did notice, Tyranitar and Rhyperior did switch places, and that's just one thing that happens with a level 40 to level 50 jump. Some Pokemon do get better than others. If you have a Terrakion and you don't have a full squad of Rampardos and Tyranitar, but you do have a Terrakion, you could bump that up in there. A level 50 Terrakion is going to do better than a Tyranitar. However, if you do have the shadows, it opens you up to a little bit more of a different opportunity with Ho-Oh. Right over here on the left, you're going to see the level 50 shadow counters. Again, Aerodactyl and Kyogre reign supreme at the top, followed by Tyranitar. But you'll see right there in slot number 4, Shadow Tyranitar does edge out as the 4th best attacker. If you have a few Shadow Tyranitars, or even just one, you can put them on up there. If you somehow do manage to also have a Shadow Aggron, you can throw that up there, right up there in the top. If not, then you could just continue with the original one that you had, because there's going to really be no difference to it, other than if you did have a, say, Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl would come in at number 10, but even then, a level 50 Shadow Aerodactyl is more than likely not going to be on your list. Having gone over all the counters, as you can see, there is a wide variety that can be used against Ho-Oh. However, at the end of the day, even with there being water and electric, and even being in rainy, there's not much of a benefit to use water or electric Pokemon. The only one that really has any use, of course, is Primal Kyogre. But if you're running Primal Kyogre, then you're not going to get the benefit of boosting any of your teammates. You're not going to get the benefit of boosted XL from doing the Ho-Oh raids. The only thing that you're going to get is basically just a little bit of the boost to anyone else who could potentially be using water. And there is nothing wrong with using water against Ho-Oh, but with its quadruple weakness to rock, it's just better to use rocks due to that quadruple weakness. So now the question is, how many trainers is it going to take down a Ho-Oh? That comes down to how much you have in your arsenal to use against it, as well as the other players that you may be playing with. Everyone does play differently. Some people grind more, some people grind less. Some people have 6 100 IV Rampardos fully maxed to level 50, and then there's other people who have just 1 or 2. At the end of the day, it's not a very hard duo, even for level 40s. If you're in the range of 30, 35, it would more than likely take 4 people with relatively decent counters. As long as you're taking advantage of that quadruple weakness to rock, you will be okay. At the end of the day, it's not how much you grind, but it's using the correct counters, dodging, and then being able to stagger in megas. If you're someone who likes to grind more and looks for challenges, Ho-Oh could be a really good duo. See how quickly you can get it done, and see how much you can push yourself or even your raid group to see who can get a better time on it. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to partly cloudy and rocks. Like I said, the water teams, the electric teams, they might be great for other raid bosses, but just for Ho-Oh, rock's going to reign supreme at the end of it all. Now that we've covered raids, let's talk about how Ho-Oh actually works as a PvP mon. In Ultra League, as you can see, it's really just mediocre at best. The Shadow is 221, and then the regular one, and it has to have Sacred Fire, of course, is only rank 169. It could be a spicy pick, and it could do okay for you, but really, for the investment that you're going to have to double move something, and it's a legendary, and you're going to need okay IVs on it, I would say to stay away from Ultra League with it and stick only to Master League. Now, Master League is going to be a little bit different. As you can see over here, Ho-Oh does much better. It is ranked number 24 and does have several key wins, but it also has a few key losses. The hardest thing is that it's going to come down to where you're at and where the meta is if Ho-Oh can really shine. It can be a great Pokemon in PvP, but at the end of the day, if you run into a Lugia or even a Zekrom or a Giratina, which is 3 of the most common Pokemon, you're gonna more than likely get walled, and it's gonna come down to what else you have. If you're looking to play in PvP with Ho-Oh, the biggest thing to remember is that there is no more right now of the level 40 Master League. You're going to have to commit to getting that 296 XL candy to max out Ho-Oh to level 50. Now, with that being said, Ho-Oh's moveset is a little bit different than others, so its moveset for PvP is also great for raids. And this is going to come down to, should you cap one? Should you do enough raids to get some? Should you do enough raids to get the shiny? If you're sitting here looking right now at the Master League and how it works up, and then over here at the losses, it comes down to surely how you're going to feel. Now, for that being said, I would recommend at least getting 1 or working on your Apex Shadow. Your Apex Shadow is going to be the most important one, because at every single list, Zekrom, Reshiram will be above it, almost 9 times out of 10. But the Shadow, it can outclass it in certain ones, and if not, it is right below it. So I know I've really just more or less babbled for some of this video. At the end of it all, I would recommend, if you have a good Shadow Apex or you have the ability, max out that Shadow Apex, because more than likely you're not going to have 3 or 4 Reshirams. More than likely you're going to have a really good Megazord that you're going to lead for your fire team, and then you're going to have 1, maybe 2 Reshirams, pushing it maybe 3, and then below that you could have either a regular Ho-Oh if you're a relatively newer player, or you mix the Shadow Apex research, or you could have your Shadow Apex. With the Mega Boost, you could be looking at anywhere from 70 to 80 raids, depending on if you're going to transfer any or trade to cap it out. Depending on your luck, it could go to 100 because you do need 360 XL candy. So that's what it's going to come down to. Regardless, Ho-Oh is a really fun mon in general to raid. It's really fun to push yourself to see if you can get a better time on it. It's fun to push your lobbies to see how many people you can do it with and how quickly, or even just go for it shiny. Again, right there. It has one of the best shinies in Pokemon. It all depends on how you play. But at the end of it, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you got a little bit of information for it. Sorry, at times it does go a little bit over in every single which way, since it isn't the usual kind of content that I make, but I hope you enjoy it. I've been Xeon97. Have a great rest of your night.